Welcome to More on That, a podcast by More Media Group. I'm your host, Emily Moore, founder of More Media Group, and I'm joined by my co-host, Will Cave, COO of More Media Group.
This is a podcast about work, life, and the places they intertwine. In each episode, we're going to talk to a different guest who has a cool career or is chasing their dreams or just making great things happen.
This week, we talked to Micheal Walley. Micheal is a man of many talents. He is a creative leader at LifeWay Christian Resources. He's also an actor, a voiceover artist, a singer. He does a lot of things, and we get into some of that and talk about pursuing multiple dreams at one time. So here's More on That with Micheal Walley.
More on That is sponsored by Community Bank. These guys offer it all, from personal and business banking to financing and wealth management. They've got over 120 years of experience, and their home base is right here in Central Mississippi.
Yeah, we can't say enough good things about the team at Community Bank. We recently moved More Media's banking over to them, and everything has been so smooth. Every single person we've talked to has been helpful, kind, and easy to communicate with. I'm so thankful to have a bank I can reach out to and get personalized support from the same day.
They've got a ton of awesome services like their secure digital banking, and if you're dreaming of finally launching that business, there's a variety of business accounts you can choose from. Their experts will help you choose the right plan for you.
We love Community Bank, and we think you guys will too. Visit communitybank.net to learn more. That's communitybank.net, member FDIC. Micheal, thanks for joining us today. All right, you just said you're at your office?
I am. I am at our headquarters in Brentwood, Tennessee, which is kind of like a drop-in space. So I'm in one of our concentration rooms is what we call it. So
well, it looks nice. It looks like a nice office to be in.
Yeah. That's nice and cozy in here. It's great.
It's not like the More Media office where we've got people coming in the background and there's no privacy at all. It's just a very open concept.
Well, I do have outside of the frame, I have this big glass wall, and I put a sign up that's like, please don't distract me.
I thought you were about to say, outside of the frame, I do have this big audience of people right here.
Yeah, it's just like the Today Show. That's right. Signs.
That's laughing when you say something funny.
Right. It's actually my team. That's what they get paid to do.
That's right.
We are so glad that you made time to talk to us today. Will is very excited because I told him you are at LifeWay, which Will was a counselor for years.
I worked Fuge for a couple of years, so we love,
Hey, heck yes.
Which is if you don't know what I'm talking about, it sounds nuts, but if you do know, I probably know you because it's such a small knit community. I mean, it's, tons of people that have impacted or worked those camps or been impacted by those camps. So yeah, it was when we were going through the list of hosts, I was like, I'm excited for this one. It's super fun.
Camp people are my favorite type of people.
Yeah.
What do you do at LifeWay, Micheal?
So I am team leader of Event Creative, which mainly our team focuses on camps. Every camp brand that LifeWay has, we have 2 student brands, which one is Fuge, the other Student Life, and then we have 2 kids brands, which one is Student Life Kids, and then the other is CentraKid. My background is mainly in CentraKid, but I lead the team of producers that produces all the worship content. So everything that happens in the auditorium. Sometimes when I say camp, people think, oh, like you're out making s'mores at campfires, and that's not the type of camp that we do. Some of our locations have that, but I like to describe it more as like a conference for student ministries, kids ministries that they can bring their youth group or kids ministry to. And so we do big productions in the worship space and the auditoriums. And so my team and I, we produce all that content, the video content, the live stage content. We have actors, we have a tech side of our team that deals with lighting and audio and visuals. So I get to produce and write and just create and dream and have a whole lot of fun while doing it.
Awesome.
So you're like from the beginning, like even like coming up with concepts for what it will be. Like you're that guy. Like that's what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm part of the team that does that. We also work with the logistics teams of all the camps. I always call myself, I'm a cousin of the team. Like we have the team that they're the ones like booking the venues and contracts and getting people registered. And we get to be like the creative muscle of everything.
That's so cool. Did you do any of the onstage stuff when you were working at camp?
So I worked camp in 2009, 2010, and 2011, which was a long time ago. Number one, I'm old. But number two, I feel like it was a bit more of the Wild West back then than it is now. I feel like y'all are probably a good bit more buttoned up than the last summer that I worked was the first one that they introduced the actor role, like that you had a dedicated actor on the staff. So otherwise it was just like, hey,
anybody
Emily,
would go up there.
what are you doing? Can you come to during the morning send off? Can you come and do this stuff? Yeah. So I mean, I did the skits. I did if there was a guy that needed to act goofy or put on a wig or something, that was my role basically.
Yeah.
We had a great time. When I worked again, that was a long time ago. You guys had travel teams, which I think you probably still do now, where they go and do different things. But what's interesting, you mentioned your design stuff. You're designing things that can be broken down and moved, because these camps are happening on college campuses or on, or event center campuses in some cases, depending on where they are. And I'm sure the stage design has changed, but we would have to take down these big trusses because another camp was coming in, or we had an off week, or whatever the case may be. And so I can imagine that your design, it's a little bit more involved than I design the camp stuff. There's all these rigid parameters that you have to work in as well.
100%. We were even talking, I was in a meeting last week where we were talking about like wanting to get a specific set piece designed, and it would be really easy, but it needs to travel every single week. And not only do we need one, it's for Fuge. So not only do we need one, we need 18 of the same item, because there are 18 different teams in the country doing the exact same thing. Student Life, we have 5 teams on the road. CentriKid, we have 8. So everything that we build has to be portable, has to fit in all the different spaces, but we also have to build multiple of them, because anywhere you go, it's happening somewhere else. So it is wild. I'm so grateful for the set designer on my team. She's amazing, and it's so fun to collaborate with her to dream.
Well, it's just such a unique thing too, because if you're designing for an actual production that's got a run time or a run a week or a month or whatever it is, it's stationary, it's whatever. But a lot of these camps, I mean, it's all, you got to be portable, which is cool. So when I worked, again, many moons ago, I worked at Mississippi College or right outside Jackson in Clinton, Mississippi. I worked in Charleston, South Carolina, and I worked in Nashville. So those were the 3 locations that I did. So lots around. Do you have a favorite location? Or are you just like, I like to design for this one?
My favorite, I love a lot of our locations.
Sure.
My favorite it's not the one I work the most at, but I love Ridgecrest Conference Center right outside of Asheville.
I've been there, yeah.
Oh my goodness, it is beautiful. In fact, when I can name some of my favorite places in the world, it's that conference center. Plus, I love going to Black Mountain, the area that it's in. When I was a kid, my granddad had a cabin there.
Oh, cool.
And so I remember going once as a kid, but then going as an adult and like getting to eat all the local restaurants, and the coffee's good. It's really fun to visit. It
does feel like its own little world, like when you get there. Like, so the only time I've been was I spent a summer interning in Richmond, Virginia for the International Mission Board, and I had to go down there there was some other conference happening that I had to cover, and I had to like write a piece on it, but I got to stay like 4 days, but it did feel like its own little place. Like it was like there was nothing, Ridgecrest.
Right. It's definitely on the side of the mountain. You're interstate, and then it's beautiful. I've worked some events there in the winter, so I've gotten to see it in snow too. Cool. So I've worked the summer. It's a magical place to visit. So as much as I can, I try and visit in the summer when one of our teams are there.
So that's what I was going to ask. Do you hop around? Like, do you go to each site during the summer?
Yeah. So one of my biggest jobs is training our staff. So during the month of May and June is my busiest time, because that is when I like to say what we do is a relay race. We spend the whole year developing it, and then we hand off to the summer staff. And then we train them. So specifically with CentriKid, which is the one I focus the most on, I'll go end of May and we'll train them for about a week and a half to 2 weeks. And we bring them all into Kentucky, and then we launch them all out to their sites. So the first week of camp, I'll hit as many locations as I can, which is normally like 2 or 3 locations. My team will also jump into different places. We'll have people helping them install tech. And then throughout the summer, I'll have strategic places that I want to visit. Maybe it's a new location, or maybe it's a place that we have a strategic partnership. Or maybe it's a specific staffer that I want to connect with and get to know a little bit more. And so I'll plan out my summer based on that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And selfishly, I do also plan out where I like to eat.
That's right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, there's a place, I don't know what it's called or if it's even still open. There was a pizza place in Black Mountain that we used to like to go to. It was so good.
My father's pizza.
Yes, so good.
So good.
Yeah, I hear that. Well, and also I got spoiled because Mississippi has wonderful food. Charleston has wonderful food, of course. Nashville's got really great food too. We went to many late nights at Satco, walking from campus at Belmont to that. So yeah.
Well, I know you're a foodie. Yeah. What are your favorites in Nashville?
In Nashville, all right. So anytime someone comes and visits, they normally say, "Hey, where do I need to do?" I have a whole Google Doc that I just send them, because that is easier to be like, "What area of town are you staying in?"
There you go. Yeah.
Satco's amazing. We have great tacos here, which is wild. I never would have thought that. My absolute favorite restaurant is Bar Taco. Which I also know they have them in other cities, but we've got to know the staff.
I was going to say, I feel like I've been to one of those somewhere, but not in Nashville.
It's great. There's a place called Barcelona, which is fantastic. Burger Up, Any type of food you have, I probably have a favorite in that category.
That's cool.
I named my dog after Edley's Barbecue. We have a dachshund. And when Anne Marie and I, my wife, we were either newly married or dating. We were sitting there and she was like, oh, Edley would be such a good dog's name. And so for years, our hypothetical dog was Edley. So when we got our dog,
there was no other option. Nice. Yeah.
And so I always say that I'm going to name our next dog after another barbecue place in town, like Martin's or Jack's or something like that. So we'll have a theme.
Are you a Nashville hot chicken guy? Or you?
I do like Nashville hot chicken. Yeah. I love Hattie B's. Hattie B's is great. That's probably the most popular. But then the original hot chicken, Prince's, is near our house. And so it's so good. Mm-hmm. It's so good as well.
Is it as popular? I feel like I know Hattie B's and I know that there's always a line outside.
Yeah, Hattie B's I would say is more of the touristy, but it's so good. Like locals eat there too. But the old school locals are like, oh yeah, Prince's.
They know where to go. Yeah.
Prince's is good.
That's apparently the place that invented hot chicken. So it's
important.
It's awesome.
I've never been. Okay, so let's back up a little. We were at MC together. Yeah. I just remember you at MC with your camera. I see you I see you with the camera just running across the quad to some event.
I think the first time we met, I think we met because we both had cameras. And I remember being like, she seems really cool. I want to be her friend. And she also has a camera.
I was taking pictures for a class.
That's funny.
Like, I'm pretty sure we were in like the music department auditorium.
It was I remember it. That a cappella group, wasn't it? Was it not?
That was it. I think so.
The Swingle Singers or something. Yeah. Was that what it was? That's what I think.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah. But you were actually like taking pictures for something. I literally was just like, I think I had a class assignment. Like I gave off the impression that I was a photographer, but I was not.
Freshman year, I wanted a hobby. And so I got a camera and I was glued to it for all 4 years that I was an MC. I think I was on yearbook staff. And so, I was glued to it. Yeah. And every once in a while, I'm like, I need to pull that camera back out and do that again. Because I'm not
You don't
so
do
much
it anymore?
into
You don't take pictures anymore?
No. So I'll be real. I got burned out with editing more than anything else, especially being at MC, taking photos of the same events year after year.
Yeah.
I mean, there are only so many ways to photograph a clock tower. But I mean, it was a lot of fun. I had fun, but I got so burned out in editing that now I'm like, every once in a while, I'm like, I need to get that back out.
Yeah.
I need to do that. We just had a huge ice storm here, and I remember at MC taking photos anytime there was an icicle around. I was like, you got to get that photo.
It was something different.
Singular icicle.
So what was your degree in at MC? What'd you study?
I ended up. And I always say I ended up because I had quite a few. I ended up with communication with emphasis in public relations. Started as a music major.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Started as a music major, music education for a year. Loved the music department. I think the music department is incredible. But I realized I didn't want to teach. That was the thing. I was a music education major that didn't want to teach. And I was really confused. So what do you do at a Christian university when you don't know what to do? I switched to Christian studies. I was like, great, that sounds great. So I did that for a year. I did the London semester for a year. And through that, I was trying to figure out like, what am I really interested in? What can I really get a job doing? And so I switched to communication, which kind of had all the little random things I was interested in. Take a graphic design class, take a public speaking class. It was just really fun. I really enjoyed it. Plus, I love those professors.
Oh yeah, me too. I mean, I still see a lot of them. We both live in Clinton and see them around town. And you said the music department. My daughter actually takes piano. Now they have the Taylor School like through MC, and so we go up to the music department every Monday for piano lessons. So it's cool to get to be back there and see it through her little eyes. How did you end up from MC to LifeWay?
Yeah, it's all about camp. I will say that I actually, as a kid, went to Student Life Kids, which at the time was called Student Life for Kids. And as a 5th and 6th grader, that was the first time I ever saw actors on stage. They had actors, they had a set. I was like the 5th grader who went home and made a model of the set when I got home because I thought it was so cool. And I remember thinking, I want to do that. So when I got old enough at MC, I was going to go apply to be a Student Life Kids actor. And because I was in the music department in Singers, we had a concert in South Africa that conflicted with training. So I couldn't do Student Life for Kids. So I was looking online and I was like, well, Centra Kids kind of like Student Life Kids, same age, same camp vibe. So I applied to be an actor. I got hired and then absolutely fell in love with it the summer that I worked as an actor that summer. And I continued to do that where my junior year of college, I became a camp director where I was leading one of the summer staff teams on the road. I did that junior year and senior year. And then after I graduated, I was invited to come to the Nashville office to be an intern for a year. which I absolutely said yes to. I made like no money, but I was like, absolutely, I have to do this. I love it. And at the end of that year, I was about to get married. I didn't know what I was going to do, and I was given a promotion to join the team full time. So I was an event coordinator for a couple of years. Then I'd say that I took a camp sabbatical for about 2 years. I was given the opportunity to lead our other kids events, our training events. So we BBS events where we bring in church leaders. We have a family ministry conference that I led. And then I just really missed camp. Camp was in my blood. I missed being creative. As much fun as those events were, I did spend a lot of time in contracts and booking venues and booking rooms and figuring out how many meals for thousands of people. And then LifeWay camps decided that they wanted to flex the creative muscle a little bit more. They reorganized and developed our creative team that I sit on. And I was given the opportunity to come back on as a creative producer. And I've been doing that since 2019. And then since then, I now am a team leader where I get to lead the other creative producers on our team as well. So that's been my career journey. I can't believe I've been at LifeWay over 10 years. But it's a really great place to be. The people are wonderful. And I've gotten to see LifeWay change a lot and grow and kind of refocus its mission on the local church. And it's been really fun.
That's cool.
It feels like it's very fast paced, is it? Like, how do you avoid getting burnout? Because it does sound exciting and fun, but that's also a lot of exciting and fun, you know?
It really is. You will see our team, I don't want to say shut down, but we slow down a lot in August and September. We really do have to pace ourselves based on the time of the year. Christmas, we will not be around a lot in December because we are all taking vacation at that time. We don't get the traditional summer break that a lot of people do because that's our go time.
Right.
May and spring, we're gearing up, but you'll see us in the fall. We try and take a breath, try and slow down, and try and really focus on that's our time to idea generate, not so much get stuff done.
That's
but
cool.
Now we're gearing up to be we're about to be in the tenacious zone.
Yeah, you're about to. I mean, it's the train has left the station a little bit.
Yeah.
It has.
Now, you know what's so cool about you saying gearing up and doing it is, and as a person who has at least had a taste of that world, not full time, obviously, but it's so cool to see when you see people or meet people that have worked camp, not just Fuge or Centricate or whatever, but any camp. It's like you kind of know, and I said this, we hired someone recently, and during the interview, I was like, tell me what you've done. She said, I work camp. And I was like, okay, I got you. Like it's a different type of person. You kind of are equipped to handle a lot of different things just because LifeWay does a great job of equipping you, but you're also out in the world doing day-to-day things just you're responsible suddenly as a junior in college for 30 high school students in my case, and adults who are sometimes harder to deal with than the students, and in a lot of cases. But and it just prepares you so much for real life, air quotes. I mean, it's just it's such a cool world to be a part of and to get to do things in.
You mentioned your faith. What's it like working at a faith-based organization? Like that being your job? Like how do you separate your personal faith from that? Or do you? I mean, just kind of walk us through that.
Yeah, I'd say it's impossible to separate it in what we do. I do think it's a unique place to be. I've heard that we kind of say internally that LifeWay is a ministry, but it is supported by the business model. And so you will see it's not uncommon for meetings to open with prayer, or we talk about things of faith because that is LifeWay's mission. Our mission is to design trustworthy experiences that fuel ministry. So every meeting, every corporate town hall, anything like that is focused on the local church and focused on serving the Lord. So it's impossible to separate faith. Everything that I write and produce has to hold up. It has to hold up to those standards. It has to, everything that we write, produce goes through multiple layers of approval to be sure that it is theologically sound, to make sure that it is safe for kids to see. There are many meetings where I throw out a lot of dumb ideas, and that's what I do. I am the one.
You should come to one of our meetings.
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
I'm the person who, even like on my team, I'm going to throw out 1,000 dumb ideas to try and inspire the right one, or because I think they're funny. But there are many times where I'm like, if I worked for Disney, that would be a home run idea. That does not work in our context whatsoever. So there are many things like that. It really does. Faith drives everything that we do.
And do you feel like I feel like my faith has changed a little in recent years, just my personal journey. has yours. And do you feel like that affects the work that you do? Because obviously, like you said, LifeWay is still a business and they've got like this very standard, I guess, protocol that they have to follow with what faith looks like. Is that weird, kind of walking that line?
There's nuance with that, for sure. I think like a lot of people our age, my faith has evolved and I've asked a lot of questions, and definitely I've had experience and changes that 19-year-old Micheal at Mississippi College would have never thought about, because I was very in that world. And I will say, like, confidently, everything that I write and produce for LifeWay, it fits the standards of the Baptist Faith and Message. We're part of the Southern Baptist Convention, so everything that we produce and create will uphold that. And that's where I'm really thankful that I have a lot of people that I work with that are great with discernment. Everything we write goes through people who have MDivs, and they're making sure that that's there. So while I may make a joke occasionally that would not pass the standard,
no one's going to let it get through. Well, what's that like, too? I mean, talking about, like, coming up with ideas, because I feel like we do come up with a lot of ideas, and with what you do, it feels like such a bigger deal to land on the right idea. Do you feel a pressure from that? And how do you know, like, okay, this is it, we got it, this is what we're doing for this summer? I mean, that's a big deal.
I'm a visionary thinker, I like to think, but I can also speak spreadsheets. I work with a lot of people who work in spreadsheets.
Oh, you and Will would get along great.
Yeah.
Will loves a spreadsheet.
We're together, yeah.
I'll say that when I get stressed, you're going to see me pull out a spreadsheet. Like, that's how, if I feel like things are getting out of hand, we're going to get it in the spreadsheet.
Yeah, that's right.
And I work with a lot of creatives, and sometimes it's just helpful to have it written down.
Well, somebody's got to keep these people in order, right? I mean, you got to,
I can't. I'm trying. I can't do a spreadsheet.
100%. I understand both sides of it. But I will say that we, a few years ago, we would be in the situation where we would put all of our time and energy into something, and then it gets to the final, and it's like, no, actually, that's not going to pass. Throw it away. And it's like, but I've worked all this. And so our team has really developed a really strict creative process where we're gonna come up with the ideas. We're gonna present 2 or 3 ideas, and we're gonna be sure that it passes the approval on our team, but we're also gonna make sure that it passes the approval of our partners. Ultimately, the camp team, the ones that will be responsible and answering for it. And so before we ever write a script, we get the approval done. And then at that point, we're like, all right, great, we are set on this idea. If we reverse on this idea, it's a big deal. It can still happen, but it's a big deal. The next phase is our scripted phase. And that is where we put all of our energy into just scripting, but we haven't spent any money. We're not buying any props. We're not investing in a set or casting actors or anything like that. And that goes through the same process: approval internally, approval by our partners, by the camp team. At that point, if it does need theological review, if it's anything faith-based, it'll be sent to the theological approvers. And then at that point, everything has gone through a lot. So at the very end, it's the idea that's landed on. And we really do trust that the best idea rises to the top.
Yeah. And I guess it takes some of that pressure off, knowing that it's going to go through so many levels, because it's like, well, if this isn't it, somebody's going to catch it. Like, I guess in a sense, you would think that would add more pressure, but I could also see where that's helpful, because you don't have to be the one deciding. It sounds like there's a lot of people coming around you to do that.
Have you ever heard of the working genius model?
Yeah, it's been a while. There's a book. Isn't there a book about that?
Yeah, there's a book. I believe it's Pat Lencioni. We were introduced to it a few years ago, and it's like, where's your working genius? Where's your working frustration? And it was so funny because the camp brands that are the logistics people, they were very much on the like tenacity, let's get it done, and the discernment, like, is that a good idea, bad idea? I was invention, which is more of like, let's generate ideas, but there's not the discernment on, is it a good idea or not? And then let's get it done. So I'm on like the two ends of like, let me generate the ideas. Let's have someone else decide whether it's
someone else tell me if I can do it or not.
Yeah. Tell me if I can do it, if that's okay. And then I'll make it happen. It's going to get done.
That's funny.
And so I'm really grateful to work with that. And as we built out our team on the creative side and on the camp brand side, it's been really helpful to kind of look at that. And like, I've got a lot of idea generators on my team, and that's been really fun.
Okay. You also are pursuing acting on the side a little bit. Can we talk about that some? So you're starring in something right now, I think I saw.
I am. Currently, I'm in Big Fish the Musical at a dinner theater here in Nashville called the Keaton Theater. So we've been rehearsing the past few months. We had our opening weekend recently. And so, so that's running a few weekends, and it's been a blast. Opening weekend was a success, and it was really fun.
What has that been like? I told you when I reached out that one thing I wanted to talk about is I've kind of watched you on social media pursue this acting as a hobby, but now it looks like you're maybe pursuing it a little more intensely. How does that align with, I mean, you have a day job all day long, and then you've still got this thing that you want to do. How do you make both happen? I will say most people who are actors and creatives in Nashville have multiple jobs from what I've seen. So that's not uncommon in our artist community here. Now, my journey to getting to that was a lot of self-discovery. I loved acting when I was in high school. I loved theater, even though I came from a small town that didn't have a lot of theater. I did as much of it as I could when I was growing up. And then when I got in college, I was like, all right, I got to focus on the real life.
You had your camera.
Right, I had my camera. You had to take pictures of the acapella group.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I need to get a degree that makes sure that I work in an office environment. Like I gotta pay the bills. And so I really put acting, I was like, you know what? I don't know anybody who does that professionally. I'm putting that to the side. And I really put it to the side other than working summer camp all throughout college. And then for several years while I was in Nashville, until I was about 26 or 27, we were producing a video and we had hired this actor on set who I immediately recognized from the theater community in Nashville. I knew that she was a professional theater actress. And so we had lunch that day and I was like, oh, I used to love doing this. And she was like, well, why don't you do it? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that other than I don't feel like I have the time. And she's like, do it. Like, you are an actor. Like, go for it. And so that really gave me a moment to reflect of like, yeah, I really do miss it. I also had the realization that, oh, there are people that are my age and my background that are doing it. And so I had a good friend who was like, hey, like, I don't think you're going to pick up and move to New York right now, but if you put yourself out there, like you could have success in Nashville. You could have a lot of fulfillment performing in Nashville and getting to know people here. And so I did. I started then. The Nashville theater community is full of incredible people. And it's been such a gift in my life to be able to do that. And also I feel like I'm living my dream. Like if you would ask me what childhood Micheal wanted to be when he grew up, it's an actor, and in a lot of ways, I'm getting to do that, and so I'm really grateful for those opportunities. That's cool. I know you're doing the community theater. Are you auditioning for other things as well? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if someone wants to pay me, please, I would be happy to act for money. I've done a few paid contracts, but because I do have a day job, so a lot of the professional theaters in the area do rehearse during the day, so I'm not able to do that. So I am able to take on jobs that rehearse on weekends or nights. I also have an agent for film. And so as those come up, I'm able to take vacation for my day job and take on those opportunities as well. And didn't you just have a voiceover role doing something? I did. I had the opportunity to work for Disney theatricals this summer on a contract doing Finding Nemo the musical, the licensing recording. So if a theater, high school, college, anyone licensed Finding Nemo the musical, I'm on the reference recording as one of the sharks. That's so cool. How did you get that? So much fun. I saw on Facebook. I saw the audition on Facebook. And so I auditioned that way. And some of my theater heroes were there. I got to sing next to a guy who I absolutely look up to in the Nashville theater community. And we spent 2 days in a studio in Music Row, which is like legendary in the Nashville recording world, singing Disney music, singing Finding Nemo. It was so much fun. I learned a ton, and I felt like the least talented person in the room. Did you sing in an Australian accent? I did, as one of the sharks. You did? Oh, can you do it for us? Oh, I don't even remember the lines, but it's online. The entire recording's online. You weren't Bruce, were you? You weren't like the guy. I wasn't not Bruce. I was one of his henchmen. One of his little guys. Like yeah. That is so cool. It was so much fun. Did you have a moment where you were like, I'm singing like on a Disney track. Like this is the dream. I had Disney sent me all the onboarding forms for orientation, even though we were doing a day and a half. And I was like, oh, I'm a Disney employee. This is like childhood dreams come true. I made it. I made it. I think acting is a lot of luck. I heard someone say, and I can't remember who said it, so one day I'm going to find this person, but someone said that the most talented actor in the world is working in a dinner theater in Ohio. And I'm like, and it's all about luck. So where opportunities pop up. So I'm grateful for every opportunity that pops up. I believe the right role finds the right person at the right time. And I'm hopeful for the future as well. So
I feel
hope
like
keep getting to
so many careers are like that. Malcolm Gladwell has a book. I think it's The Outliers. I can't remember which of his books it is. I could be wrong about which one. But talking kind of about that of like really anybody could have been the Beatles or anybody could, like, it's like so many. He talks about some professional athletes too. Like there's this point where like talent and luck and being in the right place at the right time meet. Like it's not to say that somebody was more talented, but they could have been just as talented, but not happened to be in that spot whenever they got discovered. And, you know, I mean, kind of like you said, same with actors. It's like anybody could be the next big actor. I mean, there's probably a lot of people that are at the same skill set, and it's who ends up in the right place at the right time. I just feel like so much of like, the book just made me think of it through a different perspective, and not even just like acting in sports, but also like different career roles or inventing things, or there's just lots of different ways you could look at that where so much of it's timing.
So that's what that reminded me, and he might have gotten it from the same place. I remember when I was in college, I went to my pastor. I had that moment of like, what is my calling in life?
I think that's an MC thing.
I was going to say, that's everybody
I think we all had that crisis. We all had that crisis, yeah.
You think at 22, you think if you go out on a date with the wrong person, you've totally messed up your life or something like that. And so, but I remember going and I'm like, hey, I've got this decision. Like, do I move to Nashville for LifeWay? Do I do something else? I think I'd applied for another internship. And he kind of drew out on his board something similar to that. It's like, your calling is where your skills, your interest, and your opportunities align. And it's like, that totally resonated with me, and I try and share that with the college students that I work with as well. It's like, you know, I may be super interested in this, but if I'm not talented enough, or like I would love to be a tenor, like please let me play Fiyero and Wicked on Broadway, but I'm not tall enough, and I also don't sing high enough, so that is not my skill. But it's like, where your skills, where your interests. I'm really good with spreadsheets, but if I'm spending all my day in spreadsheets, I would be a really unhappy person. That is not where my interests are, and so it really does depend. Skills, interest, and opportunities. And so that's what's led me where I am right now. And I feel like, even though I would say that theater is my passion, live entertainment's my passion, acting's my passion, I'm really lucky enough that I do have a job that's pretty perfectly suited for me. Like I occasionally get to perform in mascot costumes and videos, which I was a mascot in high school. That's wild that I get to do that for a job right now. I get to spend time writing scripts, and really fun scripts and funny scripts. That's really fun. And so I'm really grateful that currently in my life, my skills, interests, and opportunities have all aligned.
That's super cool.
It does feel very meant to be. I feel like a lot of people, like, you know, you're pursuing the acting and that's a dream, but it does kind of feel like for you, you also have a dream job, which just feels like very lucky that you get to do both.
When they seem to, I bet they complement each other too. You know, like your one job makes you better at the other and vice versa. Because being an actor, you know, like, oh, well, if the script was written this way, I'd read it differently, and you know, vice versa. So you probably, not everybody gets to do things that complement each other. But I do also feel like it's a very millennial thing to, like, you know, you have a dream, and then you have to get an office job, as you said, and pay the bills. And then it's like, no, actually, I want to do this thing, and you go after it.
Yeah, well, I feel like with our parents' generation, and I love talking about this. This might be my moral on that. Is that like they felt like they had to pick a career path and stick with it and never change. And so much of our generation does. Which, Michael, it sounds like you got lucky and kind of ended up on that path. But a lot of people are not settling for careers that they don't love because they realize there's so many options out there, and we have so much access to different opportunities that it does feel a little millennial-ish, I guess, to jump around and find the path that feels more true to you, I guess, instead of just saying, well, this is the path, I'm on it, I guess I got to stay here. I mean, even you changing your major, I also changed my major like 5 times. So I can relate to that. But
yeah, now if I could go back, I'd change my major again. Like, I really think, I think when you're in your late 20s, you should be able to go back to college for free and just like get a semester. Like,
once you actually are like, okay, now I know what I want to do. Let me try that again.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, this isn't in the order of questions, but Will and I did you ever read The Midnight Library?
No.
We talk about like your alternate universe life. Like it's a book about where she gets to pick what she wants to, which life of hers she wants to see, how it ended up. Does Michael have another alternate universe life?
Like multiverse Michael, what's he doing?
Like, what are you doing? Everything's different.
Yeah, I would say when I was a high schooler, I grew up in small town Mississippi, and I wanted to get as far away from Mississippi as I could. I love the city of New York, and I really wanted to go to NYU. And that was my plan. I was like, I'm going to go somewhere else until I met someone from Mississippi College. So I've always wondered, what if that had not happened, like, would I have ended up living in New York? What would that have looked like?
Would you be on Broadway? What are you doing in New York?
Right.
Yeah.
If I would have met people who were professional actors, because I do think that's one thing. It's like I didn't know anybody who could make a living doing that or hadn't moved to New York. So I do think that. Now, don't get me wrong. So grateful I went to Mississippi College. Met my wife there. Met my best friend there. It was the right path. But I've always wondered, like, what if I had actually just gone for it?
So what's next in your current life that you are in? What are you working on now? What are you looking forward to? What's next?
Are you going to be Bruce soon? Are you moving up in the Nemo recordings?
That would be lovely. But the guy who played Bruce is one of the best actors I know. So, and he's an animator, like having multiple jobs. He's an animator, all that. He's been the Coca-Cola Bear at one point. So what's next? We're wrapping up the run of Big Fish. We've got a couple more weekends with that. And then I'm really going to take a little bit of break with theater. Just because we are getting into the ramp.
I like how you said really, like you don't even believe it for yourself. Like, no, really, I am.
We're really going to take it. Well, that's what someone asked me yesterday. And I'm like, I never want to say, oh, I'm taking a break until this time. Because again, if the opportunity comes up, who knows? We'll figure it out. Who knows? I might get an audition for my agent for a TV show because they're filming more things in Nashville. Who knows?
But if nothing comes up, you're taking a break.
If nothing comes up, I'm planning on taking a break and then really focused on ramping up to camp, and I'll be traveling a lot with the summer. So my focus is about to shift fully into camp, and also spending time with Anne-Marie too, because I've been in a lot of rehearsals and I'm about to be traveling a lot for the summer.
The podcast is called More on That, as we said. So what we like to ask everybody that's on here, what is your more on that? What is the thing like, oh, I wish they'd asked me about this, or I'm really interested in this, or this can be, I'd hope we talk about this today. This can be serious or as not serious as you want it to be. Just what's your more on that, Michael?
Well, we talked a lot about me with acting, but I feel like the thing that I can talk about forever is theater and Broadway.
Okay.
So is there anything that y'all wanted to dive into with theater world or Broadway world?
Do you have a favorite show?
I do. Wicked is my favorite. Okay. And I'll tell you why. That is the show that changed my life.
Michael, me too. I'm so glad we're here. I'm so glad we're here. Yes. Okay. Tell me your life-changing experience.
That, I'm not over-exaggerating when I say that changed my life. Like I said, I'd seen actors at Student Life for Kids. That was amazing. That was very impactful. But 7th grade, my mom and I were invited to go to New York with my cousin's show choir. My cousin worked with a choir in Pearl, and we lived in Waynesboro, Mississippi. And so they were like, hey, we're going to New York. Y'all should come. And so we said, yes, let's go. But it was it was a theater-focused trip. I mean, I was a 7th grader from Waynesboro, Mississippi. I had never been to New York. I'd never been to a big city, maybe Atlanta. But so I was overwhelmed when I got there. So many lights, so many things. I remember taking a photo of like a parking garage that said park because I thought that was Central Park. I just saw a sign for park. I was like, that's got to be it. That's got to be it.
I've made it.
Yep. And so the first show that we saw was Wicked. We walk in. I'm amazed by the theater, everything about it. Wicked had come out maybe a year before. This was 2004. And I saw Idina Menzel.
I was about to say that means you saw the original.
Yeah, I didn't see Kristen.
Oh, was Kristen already gone by then?
Yeah,
okay.
She had left by that time, but Idina was still in it.
Oh my gosh!
From the opening notes of the orchestra, everyone coming out, and then when Idina Menzel ended "The Wizard and I just remember being like, "Oh, I have been changed. This is amazing." And in fact, at the end of intermission, I thought the show was over. And so I was like, well, that was amazing. My life's changed. And then there was a part 2. There was a second act.
Because really, after Defying Gravity, though, you don't even need the rest. You're like, I don't need anything else. I feel good about what I've seen.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And from then on, I mean, every photo that I have as a 7th grader from New York, I'm wearing a Wicked shirt, Wicked hat.
Of course.
And I'm sure that's all I talked about in middle school. I truly was. My entire life was changed because of that moment. And that's what got me interested in theater. Got me interested in musicals. It's like life made sense at that point of that's what I love. That's what I'm passionate about.
Okay, so awesome. I feel similar. I feel very similar. We already talked about this on, Will asked me on an episode what my favorite show was. And I said Wicked, but I felt a little cliche about it because now it's like with the movies, it does feel like, but it truly is. If I think back, like I saw it. I was in high school, so I was a little older, but I was in New York with a friend, and she said, we're going to go see Wicked. And I didn't know anything about it. I said, is it scary? Because I don't like scary movies or anything. And she was like, no, it's not scary. Like, it's a Broadway musical. And I didn't know what to expect, but I kind of said similar to, I guess, your Wizard and I moment was my Defying Gravity. Like, when they just left me in the dark with all my feelings after Defying Gravity ended, I really felt like I could flip a truck. Like, I feel like I've never had that much adrenaline pumping through my veins. And that is when I fell in love with, like, theater. I mean, I had seen a couple of shows before and enjoyed them, and I'm not an actor. I mean, I did a little in high school, but not like you. But I love watching musical theater. And now I love taking my kids. I've taken Ren. We just went to New York in December, and I took my 6-year-old to see Wicked. And the same, I get teary-eyed talking about it, but seeing her experience it, and when after Elphaba, I didn't tell her she was going to fly up on the broom, and she literally screamed, like she actually squealed, and whenever like it went to black at the end of Defying Gravity, she started screaming, and she was just like, Mom, I don't know what to do. Like, she had all these feelings, and she was just like, I don't know what to do. Like, she had too much emotion. But there's something, I don't know, as cliche and popular as it is, it's special, and it deserves all the attention it's getting, I think.
Is. And I mean, what you described is exactly why I love theater, why I love to be an actor. I mean, that's what I love also creating for audiences. We have season tickets. We see everything that comes through Nashville. We try and go to New York as much as we can because I love experiencing that, but I also love creating that.
Yeah. I feel that, which I don't create it, but experiencing it, I do always, every time I see a show, I feel like I just make a list of the other people I want to bring to see that show. Because there's so many good ones, but I just had not the same as Wicked, but I did cry a lot. I just saw Hadestown like 2 weeks ago. Ooh. Have you seen Hadestown?
Yeah.
I just was a puddle at the end. Like, it was just so beautiful, the storytelling and the talent, and like, but yeah, it's just an experience that's hard to replicate anywhere else.
Yeah, and people need that. People need that outlet to have feelings and experience feelings they've never felt before.
Well, and that's actually, I was going to say that too, because, well, you grew up in Waynesboro. I grew up in Soso, which is like 15, 20 minutes away from Waynesboro.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's near where my grandmother is.
So I mean, we're similar experiences, probably. And then, I mean, you grew up in a very small town too, not too terribly far away from where we grew up. And so you just like, you don't know what you don't know. And so you get to these big cities, whatever, Mississippi College or New York or whatever big city you go to, and it's like, I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know I could like this because I didn't know this was an option. And you just kind of you start finding yourself a bit, and it's a really cool part of that journey when you can leave those, which there's nothing against small towns. They're great. I mean, I go home all the time. It's a good place, but it's always interesting to hear stories like that. Well, I didn't realize I could do this. I didn't know.
Like, people do this for their job.
Yeah,
you
mentioned like you didn't know an actor. This can be done.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no actors in Waynesboro. I mean, no one's making a living that way. Yeah.
Not that I know of.
No. Yeah, we had a community theater in Laurel where I grew up, and we went to some stuff, but it's not quite the same.
Yeah.
It's you just don't have even to like a Nashville degree where you have the larger productions coming through and stuff. It's cool. This episode is sponsored by Fuse.cloud. Fuse.cloud delivers technology solutions to thousands of businesses across the country. We've used them for internet at our office for years, and we couldn't be happier. Their customer service is seriously top-notch.
Yeah, we don't often have issues, but whenever we do, they're always immediately ready to jump in and help. We love these guys so much that we even named our password after one of their team members for a while.
Yeah, Ben is the bomb.
And our clients were always so confused, like, who's Ben?
And while you aren't required to reference their team in your password, you should look into using Fuse.cloud for your business and internet needs.
They also offer other services like voice and managed IT, and they're based right here at home in Jackson, Mississippi.
Check them out online at Fuse.cloud. That's FUSE.cloud.
All right, Michael, we've got a few rapid fire questions we're going to do. Okay?
Let's do
you
it.
Ready? All right, dream acting role.
Since I was in 8th grade, I want to be Bert and Mary Poppins, and I really want to do it. I want to do it so bad. I want to tap dance.
I can see it. You could that has to happen.
If you could meet one celebrity, who would it be?
Oh, this changes depending on my day. I'm a big audiobook person, and I listened to this actor named Harvey Fierstein's audiobook recently.
Okay.
He was the original Edna in Hairspray on Broadway, but he's an actor and a writer. He wrote the book for Newsies, and so like
cool.
He is an extremely talented actor, but also a writer. He also has the raspiest voice in the world. So if he's actually in Mrs. Doubtfire as one of the brothers, and he's like the one who talks like this. And it's like, it's.
So I'm guessing he narrates his own audiobook.
Yeah, he does.
So you just get to listen to that voice.
And I'm just like, I just really want to talk to him and meet him and like learn how to be a writer and an actor. He's incredible.
That's
an
awesome. Interesting pick. Do you collect anything?
Yes, I collect coffee mugs. Our house is full of coffee mugs.
Okay.
We have our cabinet of coffee mugs that we drink out of, but then in our guest bedroom, we have the ones that no one's allowed to touch because they're the Starbucks city mugs.
Okay.
And I started collecting 2 series ago. So when I first moved to Nashville, so I have like the old style.
So like how many do you have? Like 100? Like
I have probably I have a spreadsheet because I can't remember. Like if I go in a thrift store and I see like a Starbucks City mug, I have to look at my spreadsheet
to see if you have it.
Do I have that mug or not?
That's a different level of spreadsheet than I'm at. Just so you've gone beyond. What is the most useless thing you know how to do?
I can draw an impeccable Garfield at a moment's notice.
I love this.
Interesting. Did you learn? Did someone teach you that? Or
so when I was in 6th grade, I was like, what do I want to collect? And so I was like, oh, the Garfield movie's coming out. I'm going to collect Garfield stuff. So for like a month, because that's how long my attention span was, I collected Garfield stuff and comics and things like that. And so I loved to draw when I was a kid. So I learned how to draw Garfield. So now if there's like a whiteboard just hanging out, or if you're at a restaurant that has the crayons on the table, I will just draw Garfield. Garfield's my go-to. I know how to draw.
That's not a bad party trick.
You'll have to, when we post the episode, we'll have to do an accompanying image on socials with your Garfield art. And your mug collection.
Yes, I'll take a photo of both.
All right, Michael, how can people keep up with you on social media?
Yeah, you can follow me at Micheal Walley. I will say Michael is spelled unusually. I named after my grandfather, and we truly just think his parents didn't know how to spell Michael.
I actually noticed that. I've never noticed that until I was typing an email to you when I realized that it was spelled, it's E-A-L instead of A-E-L.
It's E-A-L,
yeah.
Which is, I've met maybe 3 or 4 people throughout my life that it's similar, but named after my grandfather. I'm never offended if you spell it the normal way, but I also won't get emails if it's spelled the normal way. Or I won't see Instagram tags if it's spelled the normal way. So Instagram's probably the best. I also have a website that I really need to buy the domain name, so I don't remember it's a WordPress website, but it's linked to my Instagram.
We'll get it before we air this, so that nobody else snatches it up. Well, thanks for talking to us today, Michael. We really appreciate it.
It's been so good to talk with y'all. Thank you so much.
This may be obvious, but More on That is sponsored in part by our company, More Media Group. We're a full-service marketing and public relations agency located in Jackson, Mississippi. We offer help with public relations, advertising, social media, branding, and website design.
Yeah, if it falls under the marketing umbrella, we can help. Our team has worked with clients across several industries, including tourism, healthcare, economic development, higher ed, food and beverage, and more.
If you think we'd be a good fit, check us out at themoremediagroup.com. That's more with 2 O's. Before we go, we want to give one more thank you to our presenting sponsor, Community Bank. Whether you're looking for personal or business banking, Community Bank is the place to go.
They're helpful, responsive, and always updating their services to provide the very best banking options to their customers. Visit communitybank.net to learn more. Member FDIC.